Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today in our Strixhaven, a curriculum of chaos coverage, we're going to talk about mini games. Okay, so if you haven't heard it yet, we have a big playlist full of all of our Strixhaven videos, so go check that out if you want to learn more about this pretty cool book. And before we get into the actual mini games, my favorite mini game is hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell, hitting the like button, seeing how many points I can get for leaving a comment, or if I can level up when I hit the discord.gg/FryMinis button to join over at Discord. Those are some of my favorite games. Wink, 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 wink. Am I doing it? I think that's a wink. Yeah, I can't really wink. If anybody knows why, let me know. Okay, so this will be a pretty short video. The book has a bunch of really cool mini games in it. Of course, we've got all the rules for Mage Tower, which is a capture the flag Quidditch mix match. And I think that's pretty fun. I did a video on that. Check that out. And then tomorrow, our next video is going to be another kind of a game, but I think y'all are really going to like it. That's going to be a big deal one, I think. But these are like little short, easy games that you can toss into any game completely outside of Strixhaven and just use as just like a fun little way to run kind of like a competition, little contest between players. One of my favorite in-game dice games kind of things. I didn't create it. It's called Knuckle Bones. So everybody rolls. So let's say you and I are playing and we each roll 2d8. And so if you roll a 2 and a 3, so you're at 5, and I roll a 3 and a 4, so I'm at 7, I win. I've got the higher roll. But if you were to roll 2 2s, that combo, that match beats any other number. Even if I rolled 7 and 8, you automatically win. And then if we both roll sets, so if you roll 2 2s and I roll 2 3s, I win because I've got the higher pair. Super easy. It takes no time. If you ever want to throw that into like a gambling session, or even just like you sit down and the old sailor at the table says, "Oh, you want to sit here, play some knuckle bones with me?" I don't know. It's easy to understand, I think, and it's a lot of fun. So knuckle bones. Okay, so in this book, there are quite a few, actually, several, but we're going to only go into, I think, one here to give you the specific examples, because I want to leave this as kind of a story-related experience for you in the game if you're running this, and seeing one of these will give you an idea of how to kind of set it up. And I am going to tease one other one, but stay tuned for that. Okay, and then at the very end of the video, I'm going to say something that's completely unrelated to D&D. And I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is a silly video. So the one I want to show you, this is called Frog Racing. So we're not going to include the context because I don't want to, like I've said before, I like to stay away, especially for these early release preview videos. I like to stay away from the story spoilers and just talk about the kind of the mechanical things. So that's what we're doing with this. So let's learn a little bit about frog racing and how to run it in your D&D game. A character can participate in one of the following ways. Race a frog. A character might coach one of the frogs, encouraging it toward the finish line with words, gestures, and other antics. The character can urge their frog to victory with a successful DC 12 Wisdom Animal Handling check. Encourage a player to really sell this scene by naming their frog and coming up with ways to inspire it. If one of the characters succeeds on this wisdom check, that character's frog wins the race. If more than one character succeeds, it's a tie, and those characters split the prize. If no characters win the race, roll a d4 to randomly determine which frog wins. Also, these frogs in this particular, and this is not a spoiler, but they have costumes. So I like that the rules encourage you to like kind of ham it up. And some of these costumes I think could go really far. And if I were to run this in a game, I would absolutely encourage everybody to maybe draw a picture of what their frog looks like, or find some pictures on Pinterest or Google to kind of like, here's what my frog costume is. Each is glowing in vibrant colors, red, blue, violet, and orange, and has been outfitted with a tiny costume. One wears a makeshift cape, Another has suspenders, a third wears a stylish bow tie, and the fourth has a top hat perched jauntily on its head. What kind of cold-hearted monster are you that doesn't think that's awesome? Okay, so that's how somebody can actually have a frog in the race. But what if you want to do something else? Well, guess what? They've got rules for that. Cheer a coach. A character might shout encouragement to one of the coaches. If the encouraged coach is another player character, that character gains advantage on their wisdom animal handling check to coach the frog. If the coach is an NPC, any character racing a frog receives disadvantage on their check. Heckle a coach. A character might taunt one of the coaches. If the heckled coach is another player character, that character has disadvantage on their wisdom animal handling check to coach the frog. If the coach is an NPC, that student's frog automatically loses the race. So, I mean, very simple, right? But it gives us the fundamental idea here of how things are structured. So you can have some players actually participating, actually involved directly, whether they're in other contests, like doing something their own or coaching one of these frogs here. But then you can have other players still participating without increasing the number of players physically, like involved in the actual contest. So whether that's supporting or jeering the other team. I think this gives you a pretty good framework to harvest for your other competitions, and you can reproduce this structure pretty universally, right? And so that for this, right, we've got a DC 12, but this is still pretty low level stuff. So you can tweak that, you can change that skill check, you can do all sorts of stuff. In fact, one of the other contests uses a dexterity arcana check. So it involves throwing kind of like magic orbs into a thing. I don't want to talk too much about that one, but switching those normal skill check, ability check expectations around, I think can really spice things up, and I like it a lot. All right, so like I said at the start, there are several more of these kind of mini games in the book. I don't want to go into the details of all of them to leave a little bit of fun and excitement when you actually get to play this adventure or run it. But the structure there is what we're looking at. So again, quick video. My question, and then let me know in the comments, is anybody playing Halo Infinite? I think this multiplayer stuff is really fun. I've spent way too much time playing Halo. The microtransaction stuff, I don't know. That's I think we could see some tweaks there, but I think the gameplay is really fun. I used to play the original Halo on the original Xbox in my house. We would connect. We'd have my friends where they'd all bring their Xboxes, and we'd have like a LAN party, and each team was in a different room in the house. I mean, I was 13 at the time, maybe. And so my mom would buy pizzas and Mountain Dew and Doritos, and it was just some of my favorite gaming memories of all time. And I'm not a big video game person, but that was just such a blast, and I'm really enjoying Halo Infinite. So there's a thought for you. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think about Halo, and would you use any of these mini games? And also that frog in that thumbnail. I love frogs. Julie loves frogs. Shout out to frogs. Okay, thanks.